Hello everyone, Stephanie Calhoun here from Satori Yoga with Stephanie Calhoun. And this video is actually just to try and answer a couple of questions that some of you may be having in regards to teacher training, to become a Yin Yoga teacher or any other type of a yoga teacher. So what I'll speak to right now just for a few moments is the Satori Yoga Teacher Training program itself. So we are both a 200 and 300 hour Yoga Alliance accredited program. That's with the International Yoga Alliance. We have had students come to take our program from as far away as Australia, as well as all across Canada, and some from the United States as well. So I'm very proud of this program and what we've been able to offer to multiple different approaches in yoga. And we've recently made a shift, so we have stepped away from the traditional vinyasa training, and we have launched the first in Canada of its kind, a 200-hour Yin Yoga Teacher Training. So what this comprises of is, this is a program for anyone, whether you are currently a yoga teacher, if you are a manual therapist of some kind looking to increase your skills and offerings for your clientele for their home care and remedial exercise, or if you're someone who's looking to become a yoga teacher and perhaps maybe not so much interested in the vinyasa realm, but you're strictly looking to teach yin yoga. So this program may be for you. So we've set this up to be available and accessible to everyone, and that the 100-hour Yin Yoga Teacher Training program could be potentially your first module in your 200-hour adventure into yoga teacher training land, or it could be an adjunct, so that extra 100 hours beyond what you have already obtained as a 200-hour level teacher. So this program, why is it unique? Why is it special? Well, I have been practicing this type of yoga for approximately 9 or 10 years now, and I have been teaching it for nearly as long. I've done extensive study with my main teacher Paul Grilly and his wife Susie Grilly, and have also studied briefly alongside of Polly Zink, who was Paul's original teacher in Yin Yoga. What I've come together to or combined together, I should say, to create a unique program is both the teachings of my teacher Paul Grilly in terms of a functional approach to the human form and how that relates to each individual's practice. So what I mean by that is we teach functional anatomy, and in the realm of what I prefer to refer to as sensation-based alignment. So it's not just about me sitting and teaching you, this is a humerus bone, this is a femur bone. It goes far beyond that. So your learning becomes very in-depth, and without having to feel like you're overwhelmed in terms of studying of anatomy. It can be a pretty daunting topic, but we tend to deliver it in a fun and repetitive manner, repetitive in the sense of you learn about the human form through various angles, so you get a very diverse combination of approaches to look at the human body. In particular, not just looking at the human body as one entity, meaning the uniqueness of each one of us and how that shines through into not only our everyday life, but how that impacts our own individual transformation through these practices of yoga. And more importantly, as a teacher, you gain a unique skill set in being able to visually see your students in a practice and yourself, and understand why it is that a particular yoga form may or may not be all that accessible to you. As my teacher likes to say, we're all ultimately limited by the confines of our bone structure. So what that means is our own unique snowflake type blueprint of ourselves comes together to create a beautiful form that is uniquely you, never to be repeated again. And so your yoga practice should also be that unique. So it's a very important skill to hone as a yoga teacher and practitioner, to be able to understand the approach of sensation-based alignment, to know what it means to be able to differentiate between tension and compression, and have an actual formed understanding of the importance of the role of orientation and proportion in your practices. So once you complete this first 100-hour Yin Yoga Teacher Training program, you will have gained skills in how to see and interpret, not just physically, but also energetically, where there may be limitation with your student, to understand whether that is something energetic or if it is something physical. In other words, can your student work through it? Is it a tension sensation that means there's restriction muscularly, or is it a compressive sensation they're experiencing? That's their limitation, meaning their bone structure is stopping them. Being able to teach and approach your practices in this way has a great impact on not just yourself, but on all of your students, in that you will be able to then understand, respect, and appreciate the fact that you can enhance greatly your own or someone else's practice with that skill set and that knowledge base, and have them understand what parts of the practice they can really continue to move through and work with, and what parts may not be suited to them so much. This can be very transformational and very empowering for you as a teacher, for your students, and for you as a practitioner. The confidence and skills that you gain in this program are second to none. And how this also becomes unique is with the weaving in of the ancient sister science to yoga known as Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is known as knowledge of life, and we use a 5-element theory, fairly similar to the Chinese or Taoist approach of 5-element theory. The elements are slightly different, but the approach is very, very similar. If you are taking this particular training to become a yoga teacher, or you want to continue to advance your studies and your knowledge beyond the 100-hour Yin training, then I certainly encourage you to take part in the Energy of Yoga module. So this is the second part, and where we really dive deep into these philosophies behind Ayurveda in terms of approaching the organ systems of the body to obtain ultimate health. How we apply our knowledge that we'll gain in this program through the meridian system and the myofascial network of the body. So blending and weaving the Indian and Chinese arts and philosophies to formulate an even more deeply enhanced practice and approach for yourself or your students. So in this particular module, we also dive very deeply into the chakras, the primary energy centers, and what is their role in terms of organ function in the body. What is the role or the connection between the chakras, the meridians, the muscular components of the body, how our bone structure is combined uniquely for ourselves. How do these all interplay? And what you end up with at the end of this full training of the full 200 hours is a very rich, very empowering, and very introspective approach into yoga, and a real honoring of your own body, your own uniqueness, and how the practices can be applied more efficiently to achieve the ultimate of health and holistic well-being for yourself. And wouldn't that be a beautiful gift to be able to offer to others through the teaching capacity? So I hope perhaps this has answered a few questions that you may have in regards to the teacher training program. I have many dates coming up for trainings. The next one is coming up in the Energy of Yoga in October here in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Yin Yoga Teacher Training Module 1 is happening in Ottawa at Kalyana Yoga Shala, and that is happening in November. And if these programs interest you, you can go to my website at www.enlightensatori.com and just click on the Teacher Training tab, and you'll find all kinds of information and dates coming up right through 2016. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email through the website or respond to this. If there's something that you'd like to ask more outwardly to the public, then comment below and let me know what you're thinking, what your questions may be. I hope this is helpful, and I hope to see you on the mat and somewhere on our journeys. I'm sure our paths will cross. Have a great day. Namaste.